In this video, we'll walk through how to submit a withdrawal request. When the club is ready to spend money from your account, you'll initiate that by completing a withdrawal request, or WR, in your Treasury's Revenue Fund, simply by coming over and hitting the Create Withdrawal button. The first thing you'll notice is that there are some instructions for how to name or title this withdrawal request. It's important that you follow this naming convention carefully, as it helps our finance office locate and process your payments efficiently. To do this, you'll need to indicate the type of payment, some brief details about the purchase, and the payee or vendor being paid. There are some common examples listed here. For instance, if you were going to use the Publicity Center, your payment type would be open order. If you were buying something online, say from Amazon, you would go with University Credit Card. The next video will go into more detail on payment types, so for now, just know that we do need all three components of the name to be filled in, right here in this box, withdrawal title. For this example, we'll go with printing through the AS Publicity Center for an upcoming event. And as I mentioned above, for the Publicity Center, the payment type will be open order. You can see in this drop down that there's a good bit more detail describing what the payment types do. We'll come back to that. So the next one is Selective Vendor, and several vendors that we commonly use are already pre-filled in, so you just pick from the drop down, AS Publicity Center. The next blank for you is the budget code. So you'll need to know the budget code of your club in order to proceed. If you don't know that, I'll show you how to find that information. First, you would hop up to the top, and you see your organization is right here. You can open that in a new tab, hop over to your profile, and as long as you're an admin on your portal, you can get down here to Manage Profile. Click that, and you'll just scroll down. You're seeing all the behind the scenes descriptive information about your club. And right down here, you'll see where your budget code should be listed. If it's not listed there, you can contact the Club Hub staff or go to the Viking Union Finance Office to get that information. All of the clubs have a unique 3-digit ASB number. It's not just 123. You do have your own if you are a financially active club. If you don't have one, we can set up a financial account for you if you're just now starting out. So hop back to the withdrawal request, FX Club, and here we have some instructions that go into how you can describe your various payments. If you're paying a speaker, we just need to know that person's name and the total. If you're buying things with different quantities, we'd like you to be as descriptive as possible, and don't forget sales tax or shipping if that's relevant. In this case, we're using the Publicity Center for design and printing. And here you'll enter a brief justification for why you need to spend these funds. And we do want to know the event information if it is related to an event. And so here's some event information about that. Promoting our law school event. Coming on down, this is not related to travel, so you can leave this blank, but if it were, you would need to input these details about the travel related expense. This is also not involving food, but if it did, you would need to cite how it relates to our food and beverage policy. This is also not a reimbursement, but if it were, we would need to know whom is being reimbursed and get the W number for that person if they are a student. Also, it's reminding you that if this is a non-student being reimbursed, we will need a W-9 tax form for that person so that we're able to create a check in our check system to them. This is where we would get the address for the person being reimbursed, and if you're doing an online order, insert the URL and any information that is pertinent to that purchase. And here you do need to put in your information. Here we need to get a title again for the expense. And here we want to know, where's the money coming from? Is it coming from money that was allocated to your club? Did you earn or raise the funds? Maybe Activities Council granted funds. In this case, we're going to say we earned and raised these funds. That just helps us track where money's coming from and going. Then you're going to need to select the line item number, which can look complicated, but really it's not that bad. Just sort through and see what most closely applies to your type of expense. In this case, the Publicity Center is going to be down here in the printing section, AS Publicity Center. Easy enough. There's different kinds of printing. We've grouped these to be easily sorted through, so you can see at the bottom there's all the travel related expenses, printing, goods and services, event related, common event related expenses. So we do need to give a brief description, and here's where you can add multiple line items if you would like, or if that's helpful. You can put several things on one WR. Maybe you want to indicate your banner as separate from the other printing. So you can add an infinite number of line items, but what you don't want to do is when you're reimbursing a club member off of one or more receipts, you do not need to add a line item for every single thing on the receipt. You can do one simple line for the entirety of the receipt for everything that's reimbursable on that receipt. So don't feel like you need to repeat an entire receipt in this format. You do not. All right, you can see the total there. If you have any documents to upload, for instance, in the case of reimbursements, please do upload a digital copy or photograph of a receipt, and also turn in your hard copy to the finance office on the 5th floor of the Viking Union. There can be other things with travel. You might want to see an uploaded confirmation of hotel or the actual flight that you're hoping to get booked, something like that. Lots of reasons you might upload a document. If you have any comments, go ahead, but if not, feel free to just go ahead and submit. Or, of course, if you run out of time, you got to rush off to class, you can save and come back later. Oh, it's reminding me that I forgot to click no food related expenses. That's why it hopped back up there. Ah, it's also reminding me that I need an area code. Here we go. After you've submitted, you'll see this summary screen that gets all the details that you inputted in a summary format. You'll also get an email generated from WorkSync anytime there's a comment from an approver on your form or as the form makes progress through the steps. After you've submitted, the club's business director in the club activities office will get a notification that you've submitted your withdrawal request. Then your advisor will sign off and make the final approval, sending it to the VU finance office for actual payment, whether that be creating a purchase order, reimbursing you, creating an open order, or whatever you've asked for. If you do see a comment in your inbox with a question or a need for clarification or further documentation, please respond to those immediately so your WR does not get delayed. Once you've submitted, you can always go back to your revenue fund to see pending submissions. You can see over here in this section, the little circle means pending, the check mark means approved. Also, your icon could change to partial. If that happens, that's because your WR has been returned for more information. You'll get an email saying that it's been reopened and sent back to you with a comment about why. Your WR is not moving forward until you give a little bit more information. If you see a denial, there'll be something that looks like a traffic cone or a warning triangle. That's how you know something's been denied. You can scroll down and see all of the pending requests and past requests as well. You can delete a request if you feel like you actually want to scrap it and start all over again. And once you've opened that WR and resubmitted, it will go back to pending. And then once it's approved, you'll see the status change, and you'll see your balance has automatically been deducted by the amount approved. And that is the basic introduction on filling out a withdrawal request. The next video will go more in depth into the payment types.